And I just wanted to say how much I've loved being a part of the Torch Center.
For me, being new to Houston, Torch was like such a good resource. It was a good place to have events, to meet people.
Everyone who I've come into contact with at Torch, from the rabbis and their families to everyone else, has been instrumental in helping me grow. While I am a native Houstonian, I am recording this from Jerusalem, where I am in my first year of yeshiva.
I feel that that's really what Torch is all about. It's like growing, learning, community, and just such a positive environment every time you're around anyone who represents Torch.
I discovered Torch about 2 months before the pandemic hit. I fell in love with it. I would sit right here because I work at home, sit at that computer, and just wait for work to finish so I could go to the Torch Center after.
Coming to Houston, I really wasn't sure what the community would be like. I've often been discouraged from becoming a part of any community or going to synagogue because I feel like to go there, to be there, I need to present myself a certain way, to be a certain way. And at Torch and Torchwood, I feel completely free in who I am, to come as I am in my level of observance. It's really for everyone.
I was feeling as though something was missing in life. I had my first Shabbos experience at Rabbi Wolbe's house, which led to me then starting to keep kosher. And everything has been a step in a process. There's never any pressure. My involvement with Torch, to have the opportunity and the pleasure to work in association with the organization has really been wonderful.
When I met the rabbis at Torch, I was just so enamored with them and am to this day with their wisdom. And I really just wanted to share that with the rest of the world. So I started the Shema podcast to bring the rabbis on, to give every Jew out there the personal teaching and guidance that they all deserve.
The mission of Torch has always been to connect Jews and Judaism. The way we do that is by sharing the beauty of Judaism with anyone who is interested in learning about it. One of my favorite verses in the Torah is that it's a Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. The Torah is an inheritance for every Jew. It doesn't belong just to the rabbis or to the Orthodox or to the learned or to the scholarly. It belongs to every single Jew. And what Torch tries to do is make it accessible so that every Jew can take and learn and grow and connect and feel the love that is in the Torah.
I believe in the mission of Torch. My job is to study Torah, to teach Torah, to befriend Jews, to hopefully inspire Jews, to educate Jews, and to try to spread the word of the Almighty in the world. What an honor, what a privilege. Is there anything better to do than that?
I don't view my role at Torch as a job. I'm granted the opportunity to live the purpose of my life, to practice living the wisdom of the Almighty that I learned from my masters, that I'm continuing to learn, and to share that with my brothers and sisters in Houston and around the world.
Over the years, Torch has tried to revolutionize how outreach is done, whether it be in the coffee shops and the libraries. But about 6 years ago, we opened up the doors for our Torch Center, which has really propelled our ability to reach people and to engage with people in a very, very elegant, modern, cool way where people can feel that they're not in a synagogue environment, they're not in a place of judgment, God forbid. It's a place that is warm and friendly, and that everyone who comes in feels like, wow, this is a place I can call home. What originally started as a brick and mortar type approach has, over the past decade, become really a international operation, where from this Torch Center we're producing podcasts, we're producing videos, and each one of our classes are being broadcast on multiple platforms so that people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and all the other platforms can enjoy learning Torah in their own way. I think we first opened our YouTube account in 2008, but actually posted our first video in 2014. And since then, we have over 1 million views of our videos and over 5,000, almost 6,000 subscribers to our channel. Almost not a day passes where I don't get an email or a phone call from someone saying, oh, I saw that video, I saw that class, and it changed my life, or I use that every time I talk to my spouse or I talk to my children. I use that idea that you mentioned. And this is not only, my class, this is the entire staff. And the way we got to it was, we're already teaching all these classes. We had classes in 19 different Reform and Conservative congregations around our community. We were teaching a lot, learning with many, many beautiful people around our community. And then we said, 1 second, with just a little camera, with a microphone, we can expand this to so many more people.
I was a consumer of podcasts way before they were cool, like in the 2009-10 era. I was never much for music. I was a fan of the spoken word, and I would listen to radio as a kid, and eventually to podcasts, and I was teaching anyhow, and I thought maybe mom or dad would listen, so I said, let me launch my own podcast, which I did in the end of 2012, and then 2013 was the beginning of This Jewish Life, which is the flagship podcast channel. So we have the Jewish History Podcast, and then in 2016 we launched the Parsha Podcast, and we have the Mitzvah Podcast and Ethics Podcast, Torah 101, and thankfully they all found their own little niche and their own little audience. The universal objective is to try to be there as a resource for them to provide, compelling, interesting, intriguing content that's approachable, that's relatable, on demand for everyone to enjoy.
Torch was affected in a serious way in that our Torch Center had to close and people weren't coming, even before the vaccines were available and even before we knew heads and tails of COVID, people weren't coming. So we went to all online. Everything was online, like every other organization. The only difference is that we've been doing it already for 5 years.
In 2015, I kind of checked the box to add the stats. I remember that first month, there were 2,000 downloads. I couldn't believe it. Past a couple of years, we're talking about north of 500,000 downloads a year. It's just an insane thing. Every day you look at, I look at my stats every day basically, and it's unbelievable the kind of impact that, thanks to the amazing tools we have today, that we can have at the little Torch Center in Houston, Texas, we can have on a global scale.
We try to create new opportunities for people to learn. For example, before the high holidays, we had the shofar blowing every morning with a little idea, a little something. And those little short classes are things that we found to be impactful at the time. So, we had half of our lounge, our magnificent lounge at the Torch Center, half of it became a recording studio where we had a green screen and and I taught for many, many months. I taught my Musar Monday class in front of no audience, in front of a camera, but thank God with plenty of audience on Zoom. And I was using 3 different devices. I was using a video for the online Facebook and YouTube. I was using a microphone for the podcast, and then my in-person audience for the Zoom, which was a different device. I've gotten so many people tell me and email me that this was their lifeline. Torch was their lifeline throughout COVID. And if people told me they've listened to all 500 videos that I've recorded on YouTube, they've been going through them and journaling them. And thank God we have a tremendous amount of resources.
For someone who doesn't listen to podcasts, it may sound strange to call a unilateral relationship a relationship, but that's really the way it is. People are running around all day, hiking and jogging and in the gym and in their cars, and they have these AirPods inside their brain. And we could talk to them and speak to them and, of course, develop a relationship with them. We have the tools for the first time to be able to develop relationships with people all over the world in this one to many. One candle can reach 100 people, can illuminate for 100 people. And we're talking about one torch. One torch can illuminate maybe the whole world.
More than the learning of Torah together with such amazing Jews is, to me, it's the relationships that we've been able to build over the 17 years that Zahav and I have been living in Houston and had the great privilege of being part of this incredible organization. As we're growing and our children are growing, it's become a family affair. It's become an event where, when I go to someone's 50th birthday party, my daughter is excited about that because this is someone who we knew, 10 years ago when they were 40 and when we were younger. It really is, it's an amazing thing to see how people's lives have developed because of the influence of Torch.
We try to make everyone who walks into the Torch Center and into our home feel like they're our family. That's how we see it. At this point, my kids have so many uncles and aunts. They don't ask if we're having guests for Shabbos. They ask, who's coming for Shabbos this week?
I don't see anyone as my student. I see them as my best friends, where we can share a glass of wine together and a beer together and go on a trip together. We become very, very close friends. And that's, to me, the most rewarding thing, is that it's not me trying to teach them. It's us together on a journey. We're all one people on a journey. Everyone has a different journey, a unique journey, but to always remember that we're here to become bigger and better than when we came here.
It's been really great to stay connected through phone calls and video calls with Rabbi Chaim Busko at the Torch Center, who's been a huge inspiration and very dear friend for many years now.
My biggest focus is the one-on-one learning. It's so much more than education. It's a personal relationship. These people that I teach and learn Torah with, I come to love them, each and every one. I know that we'll be friends for life.
The biggest, most important change that someone can make is when they start to take their Judaism seriously. They start to take their relationship with the Almighty, with mitzvos, with Torah seriously. I can't tell someone what to do, but I'm going to kind of present an array of intriguing, interesting, compelling Torah, and I'm going to present it like a set table. Come and partake, come and enjoy, come and experience some of the beauty and the insight of Torah. And people do reach out to me and tell me that, I started keeping Shabbos, I committed to go to yeshiva, I started doing this, this a mitzvah. We feel honored, we feel privileged to be able to contribute towards that, to assist towards that, but ultimately it is the handiwork of the amazing students that we have here at Torch.
No matter what your level of observance is, I feel richer than I ever have in my wisdom and my knowledge and all of the things that I'm learning about the laws and the regulations, about daily life and routines and practices. It's wonderful. Truly, truly a wonderful place.
I did 6 years of Hebrew school, 3 years of Yeshiva High School, 1 year of Yeshiva in Israel, and 3 years of Yeshiva University. But at no time during all of that schooling did I really enjoy learning. And now that's completely changed. With the Torch Center, it made me really enjoy learning. Always enjoyable, extremely warm and welcoming, good energy, very positive vibes, and very interesting shiurim. How can you not appreciate that?
One of the ideas that came to us in the middle of COVID was, how are we creating a community for our millennials? Our millennials today are spread all around our city. What would be if we had a community that was perfectly created for the millennial generation? I tapped on the shoulder of Rabbi Chaim Busko and I drove him to the beautiful Maplewood West community. And I told him, I have a vision that we built something special here and we have a place for our young professionals to. And before I can even finish it, he's like, let's do it. We're in.
Torchwood, very exciting. We have so many young Jewish adults that are getting ready to settle down. They want to be around other Jews. We see that they're attending programs, trying to get connected. Where do they establish themselves? Where will they root themselves?
It is really remarkable to see, just last week, he had over 50 people at his home for a barbecue. It is really exceptional to see how people are connecting with it.
Now I'm able to teach a class in person through Torch, through the Torchwood community, which has been an amazing opportunity for my own personal growth through teaching and growing and learning.
If you are considering to become a part of the community of Torchwood or maybe moving to Houston, I highly recommend it. I think that you will find yourself really rich and satisfied in the community here and everything that it has to offer.
I'm 32 years old. I come representing the millennial generation. I'm of them. I'm here for them, for decades to come. We're carving out our territory. Place to grow together, place to learn together, place to raise our children together. This is the future of Jewish life in Houston.
I don't think we could ever have imagined when we opened up this Torch Center how it would really open up the doors for us to be able to reach so many more people than we ever thought possible. This year, in 2022, our goal is to reach 3 million people. Our original goal was 2 million, but I think we're going to blaze past 2 million and hit 3 million people. The more we continue to provide, hopefully people continue to enjoy and hopefully share it with their friends. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to having an exceptional 2022 where we can triple our impact in the world.
I would often go to the Torch Center and say to myself, why don't they charge money for these shiurim? How come there's not a lot more fundraising than there actually is? Because it certainly would be justified.
As the president of the board at Torch, some people often think that the Torch organization is made up of the rabbis, which is not the case. It's made up of the rabbis, of course, but it's also made up of the students who they teach and who learn and then teach others. It's made up of the board, and it's made up of our shareholders, aka the donors. We're all the Torch organization, and we all collectively have a lot of work to do.
To our partners, the Almighty has blessed you with resources. What's the greatest investment that's available to us in this world? God's business. It can't fail. Every dollar given with a full heart, you acquire eternity. $100, $1,000, $10,000. It's inconceivable. The merit that we, the rabbis, have is shared equally by you for making it possible. Thank you. Let's keep going. Let's show the Almighty that we care about His children.
At Torch, we have a partnership. The partnership goes as follows. The rabbis and the amazing staff that we have here at Torch, we're going to invest 110% to try to accomplish the mission of connecting Jews and Judaism. That's our commitment. But we don't have a steady source of funds to pay for this. So how can we pay the rabbis the salaries and pay the rent of the Torch Center and all the expenses that come with running an organization? We have partners. We don't have donors, we have partners. Everyone who contributes to the cause is a partner in everything that we do. And all the various activities that happen here under the umbrella of Torch, everyone who contributes is a partner, and I want to thank you. I want to take this moment to thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being the best partners that we could possibly ask for. Thank you.